Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show. Connect Summit County is the people's voice for mental health here in this county and beyond. And we are very thankful to have Sheri Fisher, their acting executive director, on our show, as well as their great big new staff. We are welcoming them for the first time ever here on Park City Television. They all just started, so what a way to get thrown into the job. Welcome to Park City Television.
Thank you.
So I want to introduce each of you. Of course, we have Sheri Fisher,
Yes.
and next to Sheri is Faylene Weinman, and you are the volunteer coordinator for Connect. And then next to you is Wendy O'Leary, and you are the director of navigation and database. And then up top, we have Amber Johnson, who is educational programming and communications manager. And then last but not least is Brandy Ravoy, administrator coordinator for Connect. I hope I got that all right.
You did. Well done.
Well, welcome to the show. Sheri, tell me a little bit about this big new staff. This is the largest staff you've ever had. It's very exciting for Connect.
You see this big smile on my face.
I do.
Yes, this is the largest staff that we have had. We started with just a volunteer board, a working board, and then we got a part-time executive director, and then the Marriott Daughters Foundation helped us to afford the volunteer manager, and she came on about a year ago, and then I came on last summer as the educational programming director, and then assumed the acting director when our executive director left. But before she left, she was very involved in putting together a grant for the Cats Amsterdam Charitable Trust. And the Cats Amsterdam had reached out to us with this to do some capacity building. They saw the good work that we were doing here in Summit County, and they wanted to help support that. And so we wrote a grant around what our mission is and what our strategic plan is, and talked to them about what we could do if we had more of a foundation. And they ended up funding us for that, and it afforded us to hire new people into key positions so that we can continue to fulfill our mission and really develop the programming that we have had and that the community has been really welcoming of.
I am so excited. Connect is such an incredible organization. You're bringing so much awareness, programming, lectures, really people from all over the world to talk to us here in little old Summit County, but to help support our mental health initiatives, which is so needed. So thank you, and I'm very excited to see this growth. It's been incredible, really.
Yes, it has been.
So Faylene, tell me a little bit about your background, what brought you to Connect, and your goals with your new position.
Sure. I've always worked in public service, so I come with a social work background. I've worked with aging populations, volunteer programs before, and I've really enjoyed it. I had a great opportunity to jump in with Connect from almost the beginning about a year ago, and I've just loved it ever since. It's fun to work with a diverse population of volunteers, and everyone is so willing to give their time, their energy. They're brilliant volunteers. We could not do any of this without our volunteers. They are instrumental to our programming, to every aspect of what Connect does. So that's why I joined. I just loved the energy of Connect, and I'm just very humbled to be here, and I'm just blessed.
Absolutely. Well, we're blessed to have you.
Thank you.
So, Amber, you are the director of database.
Wendy.
Or Wendy, I'm so sorry. Wendy.
It's not my turn now.
I'll get it at the end. So I am actually really excited about your position because this is such a needed resource. It's something that will be on the website that people can look through to find help and support. Tell me more about that.
So I will be getting the online directory, mental health resource directory, keeping it updated and finding out about providers, programs, resources, information, all of the great stuff Connect does, plus what other community partners are bringing and is available to individuals who are struggling with mental health, as well as those of us who love and support them, because we're all in this together.
We absolutely are.
Yeah.
What made you decide to work with Connect?
So I have a family member, a loved one, with serious mental illness diagnosis, and that's what brought me to the work. And I started with NAMI, and I've been a family peer support worker since 2007, and that's my passion, supporting other families and working together creatively and finding, what works for people. And I love that about Connect, that they're just very grassroots, listening to people, listening to what's needed, and then being responsive to that. So.
And Wendy, the database, there is a database on the Connect website right now.
Yes.
So you're hoping to grow it. Will it just focus on providers here in Summit County, or are you hoping to have it go beyond that?
I believe it's Summit County providers. And again, I'm brand new So,
And I'm just asking all the questions.
I can help with that.
Sheri can help
Yeah,
with
so
that.
it will be based in Summit County because we're trying to provide resources for Summit County residents. But there are some that we have gone outside of Summit County if it's a good resource and it's something that could help our residents here. And Wendy's also going to be doing some work with our navigation, which is when people can call in. It's not crisis, it's not counseling, but she's really going to help them to navigate the mental health system because sometimes it can be overwhelming.
It really can. And Wendy, I want to thank you for sharing your
Yes.
kind of personal
Yeah.
connection here with Connect. I think the more that we can share these stories, the more it will help people feel like they have someone on their side and not be
Yes.
afraid to talk about their struggles, which only helps, in my
Yes,
opinion.
I agree. Yes.
All right, Amber, now it's your turn.
Yes, okay, great.
Tell me a little bit about your background and your goals for your new position here.
Okay, I actually recently moved back here from Denver, and so for a number of years I worked with the Denver Post and community building. I wrote a column there, and I ran a lot of campaigns with moms on postpartum depression, pregnancy-related anxiety, and so I really started to get a feel for just the need to reduce the stigma and storytelling and telling people stories and normalizing the discussion. And so that's what really what I loved about Connect. And so it was interesting for our first staff meeting we had, none of us really knew each other, but we were talking about some of our accolades and our background, but each of us had a personal connection to mental health, whether it was a spouse or a child. And it was like, this team is really just passionate, not only just about the job and about really helping others. So it's awesome.
Well, I can definitely feel that. And you're right, that's going to just bring Connect. It's going to grow it and make it so much better and help people be aware of this incredible resource we have here that some people might not even realize we have. So, Brandy, you are the administrative assistant, is that right?
Yes.
Welcome, welcome. Tell me a little bit about your background and what you're going to bring to this job.
Yeah. So I have a for-profit and a nonprofit background, but my passion really is with nonprofits. I've experienced working at a domestic violence agency and a rape crisis agency, and I've met Sheri and Faylene through volunteering with Connect. And so when I heard that there was an opportunity to get more involved with Connect, I jumped on it, and I'm so excited to be a part of the team. So I will be supporting the educational programs and marketing, as well as being responsible for the administrative tasks. And I just want to really help others, talk more about mental illness and taking the stigma away from it. And I'm just really excited to be a part of this organization.
Well, Sheri, this is incredible.
It's a big deal.
You have a great staff. You must have felt
Yes.
really, must have felt really good to sit down and have this whole group here supporting you and supporting this mission.
Absolutely. Yesterday when we had our very first full staff meeting, there was so much positive energy that we are sharing, and it's just the beginning.
You're right, it is just the beginning, and that's exciting to see that. So we have some events coming up. A lot is happening. You're not just resting and getting to know everyone. You're jumping right in. You have how many events next week? Let's talk a little bit about that.
We have 2 events next week. The first one is Dr. Christy Kane is coming on Thursday at Ecker Middle School, and we are co-sponsoring this with the Mental Wellness Alliance, with Wasatch Pediatrics, with Ecker Middle School PTO. And Christy Kane came and talked last fall about the impact of electronics on the human brain. So that's at Ecker Middle School. It's free. It's from 6 to 8:30, and it's on Thursday. So that's coming up. And then on Friday, we work with the Psychiatric Research Institute. Each year they come and they do a conference here. And so 2 of the doctors are going to be focusing on postpartum depression on Friday, March 15th from noon to 1:30. It's a bring your own lunch. It's free. But if we're inviting mental health clinicians to come, but also people who have suffered from postpartum depression or their families to learn more about new research and new treatments for postpartum depression.
What incredible events. And I think it is important to note that most of your events are free because you just want to bring this education to the community.
It's in our strategic plan for as many events as possible to make it free and accessible.
Which is just a great mission. And you also have, which I didn't realize, some support groups. So Faylene, you're involved in that. Tell me a little bit about those.
Yes, so we have 3 support groups available. We have an evening support group that is the last Tuesday of the month, 6:15 to 7:45 at the Park City Library. That's the one on Main Street, or up Old Town. And Laura will facilitate that. That group's been going on for about a year now. And then we just started a new group. It's the second Thursday of the month from noon to 1:30 out at the Blair Education Center. And so that is for peers, for family, friends, and peers of someone suffering with mental illness. So not for the person that is suffering, but for their caregivers. And then we also have, I'm just blanking out, Sheri, help me out.
The second Tuesday of
The
the month.
second Tuesday of the month is, thank you, is for parents. It's at Parley's Elementary School, and it's for parents of any child, kindergarten through 12th grade. It doesn't have to be parents from children at Parley's Park Elementary. It can be any parents, but they are meeting from, I believe it's 4 to 5:30. Yes. Thank you, that's a lot to remember. But that is also a wonderful opportunity for parents to get some extra support and help.
I want to make sure, where can we get more information about how to volunteer, these great programs, find the database, all this good stuff?
The best place to go is our website, connectsummitcounty.org. There is a calendar of events that you can click on, and it lists all of the events, but then you can go in and get more information on each event. And that's probably the best way for people to get information. And you know, we have May Mental Health Awareness Month coming up, so we are going to be putting tons of information out there.
Well, I think it's just really speaks to this community that the value that is being placed on mental health and the help that you're giving. I know that I had a son who struggled, and when I started that journey, when we didn't know where to turn, and that was the hardest part, was feeling alone, not knowing where to go, calling a provider, and you have 6 months out before you can get help. But I love how you can get something immediate, and even if it's not exactly what you want, you could go to support group and at least talk to someone who understands, and that goes such a long way. So kudos to you guys for being part of such an incredible organization that is changing things here in Summit County.
Well, and again, we are very blessed with the volunteers that we have. Our board of directors is very committed, and we have a powerful mission, and we are all going to be working very hard to meet that mission.
Well, you're making a difference. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Sheri, Faylene, Wendy, Amber, and Brandy.
Wow.
I'm going to have you You are not going to be strangers to Park State Television, so we will see you again, and
Thank
good
you.
luck with your new endeavors.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, check out Connect Summit County. What an incredible resource we have here in Park City and beyond to help with mental health, reduce that stigma, increase conversations, help provide people support and help when they are struggling. We want you to be a part of it, so check them out online. All right, much more coming up after this quick break.